Hello and welcome to this video. In this video, I will be explaining how the Foreach loop works in PHP. The Foreach loop works only on arrays. So what is an array? An array basically is used to store multiple values in one single variable, in comparison to variables that can only store a single value. An array can store multiple values. So a Foreach loop only works on arrays, and it's basically used to loop through the elements in the array. So it will loop through each key and the value pair inside the array. So let's take a look at the syntax for a Foreach loop. So this is what the syntax looks like. So for every loop iteration, the value of the current array element is assigned a value, okay, and the array pointer is moved by 1 until it reaches the last array element. So it goes through the array, loops through until it reaches the last element. So if you had a for-each loop that will loop through all the elements, so it will go through them, list them, go through them, list them until it reaches the last value. It's always best to illustrate with an example. It makes more sense that way. So let me do that. So in my example, I have got a variable called cars, and I've set that variable to equals to an array. So the variable is an array, and these are the elements in the array. These are all the cars. So we've got Range Rover, BMW, Ford, and so on. When you have an array, you have to enclose the value in quotes if they are strings, and then you separate each of the elements in that array by a comma. So here I'm using the Foreach loop to loop through this variable, which is an array called cars, as value. These are referred to the values. The cars in the array, these items are known as the value. So this here is telling it, the Foreach is telling it to loop through, check the values, and then print them out. So this statement here, echo statement, will print the value. The break means it will leave a line. After it prints one, it jumps to the next line, print another. That's what the break tag is. So you can see here now it's printed out the elements inside that array on the screen. So an array is used to store multiple values, as you can see here, and we're using the Foreach loop to list all the elements inside that array. So typically you will only use a Foreach loop in an array. So that is it for this lecture on the Foreach loop. Thanks for watching.